Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be talking about the one weaponized vehicle that Rockstar needs to add in the next Grand Theft Auto Online DLC. So to give you guys a little bit of backstory on why we're talking about this, I'm sure you know it, but just in case you don't, Rockstar have briefly teased a little bit of the next update in a Newswire article, and one of the things they specifically mentioned was that there was going to be new weaponized vehicles that will be added into the game. Now, we got weaponized vehicles in the gun running update, and we also saw sort of similar themed vehicles in Import-Export with like the Ruiner 2000, the Rocket Voltic, stuff like that. So because of that, there is one vehicle in particular that I think if Rockstar doesn't add is going to be a huge disappointment, and that is the Deluxe OH. So let me give you guys some insight on the Deluxe OH, and then we'll talk about the real-life version of this car as well. So the Deluxe OH was only featured in 2 games. It was featured in Vice City and Vice City Stories, and the Deluxe OH was a fast 80s-like sports car, and it was really cool. So the performance in-game was really awesome. It was fast, not as particularly fast as the Infernus or the Cheetah, but it was one of the better racing, drifting vehicles in that game. Now, let's talk about what the Deluxe OH is based off of. The Deluxe OH is based off of the DeLorean DMC12. And you might remember this car from a famous movie. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So the DeLorean DMC12 is manufactured by the DeLorean Motor Company, and it was only available for American markets from 1981 to 1983. Now, because this car was only produced for a couple of years, and that actually happened in Northern Ireland, about 9,000 DMC12s were made before production was halted in 1983. And today, there's believed to only be about 6,000 DeLoreans to ever exist. So needless to say, these cars are pretty rare. So the mod we're looking at today, this is the DeLorean DMC12, and there's a lot of beautiful things I love about this vehicle. It features gull wing doors that are really cool. We see that on the Sterling GT. It also has an innovative fiberglass body structure with a steel backbone chassis and stainless steel body panels, which is really cool. And the car became widely known and iconic for its appearance because of obviously the way it looks. You wouldn't expect a car to look like this. Obviously, the engine is in the back too, which is kind of reminiscent of supercars that you see today, but that was a little bit more rare in the early 80s. So this vehicle, needless to say, is really cool. It's got a 80s style interior. It's got, 80s lights on there, sort of old school paneling and whatnot, and it's just a really cool car. However, the DeLorean DMC12 became most famous in a movie you might know called Back to the Future. So the DMC12 was immortalized in this movie franchise when it became a time machine created by Doc Brown and used by Marty McFly. And this is where Rockstar could implement this vehicle as a weaponized or special vehicle. So in a perfect world, I would love to have 2 versions of this car. I would love to have a normal version that we kind of see with the DMC12, and then whether you bring it into a vehicle warehouse or an MOC or a bunker, whatever the case is, be able to transform this into the weaponized sort of time machine version, which definitely has a more unique look to it. So you can see this is the time machine look right here. On the exterior, you can see it's been heavily modified with extra equipment. There's wires and gauges and stuff all on the outside of the car. And on the inside of the car as well, you have this super jerry-rigged like time switches and the flux capacitor in the back. It's a really cool interior, and it's something that is probably one of the most iconic parts of the entire movie franchise. Now, in order for this to be a weaponized vehicle, or at least a special vehicle, it's got to have something particular or unique about it. And I was thinking what Rockstar could potentially do here with something like this. So the DeLorean in Back to the Future was not weaponized, but it had some unique characteristics. Obviously, it has the ability to time travel. Now, I highly doubt we would see a feature like that in Grand Theft Auto Online. I mean, of course, where would we time travel to? But it would be interesting if maybe you set a waypoint on the map. If you reached a certain speed, maybe you would like teleport there. Now, that's very, very far-fetched, and I don't expect Rockstar to do that, but that's one of the possibilities they could do. One of the other things I could see about this vehicle is the fact in the movie, when it reached 88 miles an hour, that's when the vehicle would time travel. Now, maybe Rockstar could do a parody of that in-game. So instead of 88 miles an hour, maybe they do 69 miles an hour. And instead of time traveling, well, like in the movie, when the vehicle time traveled, a fire trail would come out the back where the tires kind of skidded off and it time traveled into another dimension or whatever the case is. That would be cool if you reached a certain speed. If you left fire trail marks on the road, that would be pretty cool. Now, in the second Back to the Future, Doc actually has to modify the time machine, or he comes from the future, so the time machine has the ability to fly. Now, this would be cool if this is the feature that Rockstar incorporated. When you reached a certain speed, maybe you would have the ability to fly in this car for a particular amount of time. So we've seen other vehicles like the Rocket Voltic, the Oppressor, and even the Batmobile Vigilante have the ability to fly by default if you boost yourself in the air. But I would like a vehicle that has a controlled flight time. So you'd have like 5 or 10 seconds in the air to fly wherever you want, and then it would force you to go back to the ground in order to either regain speed or hit the certain speedometer to gain the ability to fly again. That would be awesome. So those are sort of the features that Rockstar could add to make this a weaponized vehicle. And I know what you're saying. Well, there's no weapons on it. How could it be a weaponized vehicle? They could do what they did with the Ardent or the Night Shark. They could add 7.62 machine guns on the front just to technically call it weaponized, but its main features would not be weaponized, kind of like the Rocket Voltic. Now, you might also be thinking to yourself, well, why would Rockstar add this into the game? Two reasons. Number one, it's been featured in previous GTA games, and Rockstar loved doing that. They have brought back a ton of vehicles from Grand Theft Auto 4, GTA San Andreas, you know, so many other games. And number two, Rockstar love pop culture references. They just brought the Batmobile into the game. The Ruiner 2000 is based off of Kit, the Knight Rider car. I mean, they've brought so many vehicles that are featured in TV shows, movies, real life. They've brought it into the game. So I can't imagine them not being able to do something like this. And with new weaponized vehicles on the horizon, this would be the perfect opportunity for Rockstar to introduce this vehicle into the game. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. Let me know what you think, and do you think it's possible for Rockstar to add the DeLorean DMC12 in Grand Theft Auto Online and then do a sort of Back to the Future weaponized vehicle counterpart? For me, this vehicle would be an instant buy. Not only am I obsessed with the 80s, I love Back to the Future, but this car in general is just beautifully gorgeous. So I think it would be awesome to see in online. But anyways, that's all the information I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know in the comment section down below if you'd like to see the DeLorean. I personally would. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.